Welcome in, y'all. Timeshare Clarence is July 14th, 2025. First and foremost, as always, I want to thank God for waking me up, blessing me with another day, another opportunity to work towards becoming the man I desire to be. So this random thoughts, and this kind of came about because I accidentally hit record the other day, and this is what I do anyway. So I figure I could make use of the time, kill two birds with one stone. So I'm trying to figure all of this out. I know I need some water, so I'll try to have that on deck. But ultimately, when I'm walking, my walks start off the same way, pretty much. I listen to Eddie Pinero, who I highly recommend. Some people don't really like him. I don't know why. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying, I'm just sharing this, something that worked for me. I listened to Eddie Pinero for years, and now I listen to him every day, but I don't listen to him for as long. So that's where this pretty much comes from. So I'll turn on Eddie, start my walk, get a block or two, and then the stuff that he's talking about, my mind's just wandering about situations and circumstances, relationships that it may apply to for me in my life. So as soon as I start thinking about those things, typically I'll turn Eddie off and just turn on record and get my thoughts out there, and then I'll try to make sure that I'll get back to that to actually make a video, because the main goal is really to document my life. And at this point, to the vast majority of people, is probably like, what is worth documenting? But I know the ending, right? And what I don't want to happen is for it to be, and I'm not comparing myself to Jesus, but what I don't want to happen is for it to be an incomplete story. Even if I accomplish all of these great things, like the middle part is missing. So people don't even know what I went through to accomplish what I accomplished. And people don't know the whole story. They just know the success story. And I don't want that to happen, especially for my kids, because I do feel like that's a huge component of my success, is understanding that I don't have to be perfect. So this morning, before I got ready to record, I was just thinking about all of the stuff, because it's always multiple things. It's never just one. So I'll have, because my mind wanders. So like this morning, it was what I'm gonna talk about right now, which is being scared to be seen. Because that's what prevented me from recording a lot, is because, man, I don't want my kids to see me like this. I really don't. So, but the reality is they see me like this anyway. Like, this is who I am. This is my life right now. So for them not to see me like this, I don't need to not record. I need to change my life. I need to change who I am. I need to change my circumstances. So, but I thought about how much I didn't record before and why, knowing how important it is, knowing how important it is for me to have the benefit of, I can read part of Jesus's story, right? I can read about, a lot of different people, George Washington, if I want to. And I'm just saying, it's people that have gone down in history because of the things that they have accomplished. And you can read about them, but how much can you really read about them? It's very limited information. So at least for my kids, they can get all of it, or the vast majority of it, because I do feel like the vast majority of my life is in front of me, not behind me. And either way, whatever I do or don't do, I can't be scared for them to see it. And if it's something that I want them to see, I need to show them. If it's something that I don't want them to see, then I shouldn't do it. So got this yesterday because it's so dusty out here. By the time I get done recording, my phone is covered in dust. So I need some water, but I don't want to have my cup sitting out here for something to drop in it. So the other day I had a cup and I sat at the top of the cup to cover it while I wasn't drinking. But I'm like, I don't want to keep going through that. So minor adjustments, right? If I know I'm gonna do this, I know I need some water. And I know I'm gonna be outside because I'm smoking. So had to get that. Like the everyday stuff, those are the things that are easiest to change, the small things. So anyway, I'm looking down at these notes because that's something else I started doing. I don't want to ramble. Oh yeah, because like I really never want people to see me struggling, but what's the benefit if you don't see the struggle? Because people tend to think if people accomplish great things, that those people were lucky, blessed, whatever. But a lot of, and not saying that those things are not true, but they also had to work hard. They also had to struggle. They also had to sacrifice. They also had to invest. So that part of it in this story, I'm gonna make sure it gets documented because I know the ending. Okay. So I guess let me see what's down here. Oh yeah, so if I don't want my kids to see me struggle, it leave me with two options, and I was a fly flying around. But it's don't record because I'm not where I want to be, which does them a disservice. Like if I don't show my kids what I actually went through, I don't know a lot about my mom or my dad's life. It's very, very limited information. But with that limited information, it's benefited me. So if I had more information, it'd be a bigger benefit. So I had to get over being scared to be seen, and back to what's just, it's every day on my mind how much it just, and again, it's early because it just happened. So I don't know if a month from now I won't really just be as mindful. I don't know. But for right now, all I could keep thinking about is how I'm only able to do what I'm able to do now, which is just stop being scared to be seen. Because I would push through that. Like I still didn't really want to be seen, but I would push through it because it's like, man, you have to do this. You have to do this, right? Because if you don't do it, it's not gonna be there for them. And if they don't look at it, that's on them. If it's not there for them, that's on you. So I would still have to convince myself to do it, or have to be like something that I felt like was super important. And then it transitioned from that to, man, just let me record. And but I didn't know what to record because I didn't have anything positive to report. And maybe that's also a big change. Like I feel better now because the situation is resolved because I got my disability. So I'm in a different place mentally now, because now I have the certainty of being able to create generational wealth for my family. It's just executing the plan. So all of these things kind of aligning, because I just said the plan, not my plan, because that's another thing. Like, man, I'm trying to figure out what God plan is. So by all of these things just kind of lining up at once, ironically, my kids still don't get to see all of the struggle. They saw some of it, but at least they saw some of it, and I regret that they didn't see more of it. And that was completely my fault, because I didn't record it, because I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want to leave that image for my kids. I look at myself and man, I'm overweight, I'm broke, ain't nothing going right. I'm just talking about being injured and all of this other stuff, but like, my faith never wavered. And that's why I'm here now. But I would hope that I could help somebody get here sooner. And so I'm no longer scared to be seen. But that's because like, there's no reason, because I realized what I realized, or what was revealed to me by God, was my need to reconcile the perfection in this entire equation is not necessary. Even without being perfect, God is still God. And if he is perfect, great. But same thing, like, nobody can say that somebody twisted my words. It's coming directly from me. I got it directly from God. So however y'all feel about it, like, I would want my kids or anybody else, if your faith really is what it is, like what you believe, whatever that is, then your experience is going to coincide with that faith. So like I said, I've heard about it, I've seen it, I've experienced it multiple times, so I don't doubt it. But this is just my version of it. But that's the value in it for my kids, to see where they came from. Cause I don't know a lot about it, especially if my kids have kids. Like, it's probably be more benefit. I mean, and maybe that's my perspective, and it's not likely for other people, because I got to benefit so much from my grandfather that I feel like the benefit of being able to be a great grandparent, like, and still be alive, but going into it with my great grandkids can actually get to know me if they want to, and anybody else. Like, I think that's dope. So just all these different things kind of lined up. I got my disability, I got this revelation from God. I started looking at certain things with a different lens. I got a different freedom, because I really did want to, like, the goal is to be as God-like as possible. But when that standard is perfect, I don't know. Especially when, not just because it's perfect, because if I saw, if I heard a perfect story, or, I saw a perfect situation, then I could probably believe that God and Jesus are perfect. But because I can separate the perfection from the power, and I see the power regardless. It's just freeing, because that changes the standard, and it made me think about the value in being able to know about the struggle. If Jesus did struggle, it would probably be value in knowing about what he struggled with and how he dealt with it and overcame it, because obviously at a point he did, because they tell us about that. But now, anyway, I don't want to get off on that again about all of the missing time in Jesus' life that's unaccounted for in the Bible. And maybe it's out there and I just haven't read it. So, I'm, like I said, I'm open to looking at other stuff, and I am looking at other stuff because I do want to know, because I've said it countless times, when something is, that's just how my mind works. Like, when something makes sense to me, I really want to break it down. I really want to understand it on a different level than anybody else. Because that's just me. So especially with this, it's like, man, I know he's real. I know everything I've been told is beyond second, third hand. All right. So, man, if I could just connect with the source, and that's what I've tried to do, and I feel like I've done it. So that's what I didn't do today. Random phone calls. So yesterday, I made sure I put the phone in airplane mode so that wouldn't happen. So I don't want to keep going through that. And I don't want to make this too long anyway. I'm almost done. So yeah, just getting over being scared to be seen, because I don't have to correlate my value with perfection, because I don't have to correlate God's value with perfection. So that's freeing. Like, it doesn't change the desire to be close to God or acknowledge his greatness, but it gives me more faith that he's getting better. And if he's getting better, like, I've seen all the things he's already done. So if he gonna move even more in my life, I'm not trying to interfere with that. I'm trying to get on his program as much as possible. And that's just what he gave me. And maybe he only gave that to me. It's like the Matrix. Maybe he only gave that to me because that's what I needed to get past my little block. So again, I'm not a closed-minded person. I acknowledge I could be completely wrong, but if that's what he gave to me, because that's what I needed to hear to get past that block, then hey, he's still a wonderful God. But that's what he gave me. Now, if he gave y'all something different, roll with it, because it's his plan. Whatever his plan for you is in your life, I feel like you know that. And I feel like you should invest in that 100%. I don't feel like I've ever understood what that was for me. So if I didn't even understand it or wasn't even aware of it, because I was just trying to do what I thought made sense. But the stuff that has the biggest benefit isn't because it made sense to me. It's stuff that I never would have even considered. But God put me in positions for these things to be in place for me to do something with it. And I am going to make a video about exactly what I'm going to do with it, because I keep referring to it and saying how it's guaranteed but I'm gonna explain that on another video. It's pretty much gonna just be about the process of using the VA loan to get a multifamily property, you know, and start getting some money through real estate and learning all the additional benefits, because there are a lot of benefits. Just because I haven't looked into them, like, I know they exist. It's a lot of other veterans who, like I'm trying to do, have shared their experience, and I benefit from that. So it's just a matter of me committing the time to learn the route I need to go. But I've seen it. The blueprint is there. Like I said, at this point, I'm guaranteed that my rent and bills are paid for the rest of my life, as long as I'm reasonable. But if I get a multifamily property, and now my biggest cost is always rent, if I could reduce or eliminate that cost, then that free up a lot of money for me to deploy into other things, as well as, of course, in a place like Vegas, you know, the right investments in property are gonna appreciate, because it's so much stuff already planned to come to Vegas in the future. And I don't really think Vegas is a city that's going to fail. So that's what I'll be talking about, just in depth a little bit. But anyway, can't be scared to be seen. It's easier to not be scared to be seen when you accept, like, you don't gotta be perfect. It's all these unrealistic standards, and like, man, God made it very, very simple. Confess with your mouth, believe in your heart. Like, that's it. Now it's levels, you can build on that, but that's the baseline. And if you just start doing that, you will see him move in your life like he's beginning to move in mine. And even if you don't see him move in your life, you're gonna see him move in mine, because I'm gonna show y'all. So appreciate y'all for tuning in. Till next time, Timeshare Clarence. Peace.